One of the most enduring stories of the Bermuda Triangle is the disappearance of the U.S.S. Cyclops in 1918.
To date, that's the largest loss of life on board a U.S. Navy vessel that's unexplained.
Marvin Barish has a personal connection to the tragedy.
309 people lost their lives on board the U.S.S. Cyclops when she disappeared. My great-uncle, Lawrence Merkel, was a fireman on board the ship at the time the ship was lost.
Christened in 1910, the U.S.S. Cyclops was a cargo ship used to transport fuel during World War I.
In January 1918, the Cyclops was given the job of going to Brazil. The Navy had an arrangement with the U.S. Shipping Board for the ship to go and pick up a cargo of manganese ore.
Sometime between February 14th and February 16th, 1918, the fully loaded ship departed for the United States.
The Cyclops was actually supposed to go back to Baltimore, Maryland from Brazil. Instead, she stops off at Bridgetown, Barbados. The ship took on a cargo of coal, and beyond that, there wasn't any fanfare. She was essentially just leaving March 4th and was anticipated to arrive back at Baltimore on the 13th of March.
The Cyclops was last observed leaving the harbor in Barbados.
Nothing is heard from the ship. There's no sightings. There's no radio communication.
The ship was never seen again.
The Navy engaged in the largest search for a vessel that had ever been undertaken. Vessels large and small were called into action. Nobody ever found anything. No piece of wreckage, no oil slick, nothing floating on the water, no trace of anything. The loss of the Cyclops, as far as the newspaper reporting alone, probably in our lifetimes would compare to the 9/11 events. It was difficult for somebody to understand how such a massive vessel, so many people, so much volume of metal could just disappear off the face of the earth.
Under the right conditions, seemingly harmless waves can turn into deadly walls of water in an instant. The U.S.S. Cyclops would have been especially susceptible to a rogue wave.
The Cyclops had a history of doing some severe rolls. On one occasion, she rolled 50 degrees in one direction and about 46 degrees the other direction. Under normal circumstances, that's quite a bit for most vessels. If a rogue wave had hit the Cyclops, I believe she would have quickly rolled and that she would have probably slipped below the surface and would eventually wind up at the seabed.
The Cyclops may have gone down over the Puerto Rico Trench, the deepest part of the Atlantic Ocean.
The fact that nothing has ever been found from the ship is probably a good indicator that that's where she came to rest.
Rogue waves may explain why some ships disappear without a trace in the Bermuda Triangle. They've been identified as the possible cause for disappearances all over the world.
I think it's a lot easier to put a label, such as the Bermuda Triangle, as the prime suspect for any kind of crime or any kind of loss. It's a lot easier than actually looking for the facts, doing a real investigation, and not just falling back on myth.